Mayonaka Punch is going to be the final anime we're talking about. Now, this was supposed to be Shy Season 2. I will admit that. Some of you are probably saying, like, what the fuck, where's Shy Season 2? And I'm going to be completely honest with you. I just didn't, I did not watch that, bitch. I did not watch that. I meant to, and I got wrapped up in Demon Slayer and other anime. And then I realized, oh, I didn't fucking watch Mayonaka. Or I didn't watch Side Season 2. Fuck. So I wasn't really in the mood to just like speed through Shy. So we're doing Mayonaka Punch. And honestly, I'm interested. I am interested in this show a lot more than I was when I saw the trailers. Because the trailers, they frame this show as definitely like, you know, like girl gets kicked out of their group, meets some special people, makes a group with these people, right? And they phrase it, the closest thing I've seen to like how the show says it is on a Mal. And they say that they have, to be fair, it's not Crunchyroll. Crunchyroll just takes Mal's descriptions. But on Crunchyroll, it says superhuman abilities, right? And so when I think superhuman, I think of like Captain America. I think of like the Winter Soldier. I think of like Black Panther. I think of like the Falcon. I think of even like people fucking like Green Arrow and I can't really think of anybody else. But you know, people who are like, you know what? I would have said the Flash way back in the day because he's strong, but his Speed Force shit like just no. His Speed Force shit's so weird. But you get the drift that I'm going about. Characters who are like pretty normal for the most part when you look at them like as a whole, where it's like they don't really do anything crazy. They don't really do anything insane. They don't really do anything like that's like breaking. Or is that the right word? I want to say that it's like it's not like going beyond superhuman. It's just like, oh yeah, I'm super strong or I'm super fast, so I have this and I have that. So I thought it was gonna be like something like that. I wasn't expecting vampires. Yeah, I wasn't expecting fucking. That's not okay. Cool. Okay. So technically, depending on how this goes, it still could fall under superhuman, but I would expect them to still be human. Maybe this is a nitpick on my part, and like I don't hate this because it makes it the way they go about it actually makes it what the premise would be. What like they made this premise sound so boring, right? I'm not gonna lie. They made this show sound so boring. If whoever was marketing this show, either they did not know how to market this or they wanted this to fail. Because they marketed this terribly. Because the way I would have done this is I would have surrounded this around the idea of Live, who's the vampire, and Masaki, who's like the human. And they have their own interaction because Live wakes up dreaming about this random girl, realizes that the random girl that she's been dreaming about is Masaki, and being like, oh, I want to drink her blood, and I want to drink her blood, because apparently Masaki's blood is also special. So it's one of those things where it's like, okay, you know what? You seem cool. You seem like that. Well, they have like a little like scare and stuff like that, and Masaki legitimately almost dies until Live saves her. And then it's one of those things where it's like, okay, like we can make cool videos with each other. Help me get to 1 million subs, and I will be your meal. I don't give a fuck. And so it's when I would have marketed this as like a girl is down on her luck and basically gets second chance from like supernatural creatures. I would not have framed this as a, oh yeah, like I'm out of my group and so we're gonna have to make it like another one, because there's actually some interest in the show where like you see her get kicked out of the group for the first time, right? Where like in the beginning of the episode they have the interactions with her, which apparently they're sisters, which stings even much. And then she goes through this thing of like trying to make her own channel, trying to apologize for what she does. She tries to recruit people to like make a new channel, and all she gets is like trolls or people who want to be like assholes, and it kind of like fails. Like her recruiting fragment fails, so then she just ends up drinking and wandering the streets of I don't remember what town. I don't want to just say Tokyo because not everything is based in Tokyo. But she just wanders around the city, goes to the abandoned hotel that they made their first video in, and it, like she gets like somber and sad, and she's just like and it's like it's kind of one of those things where it's like you see somebody in like their growing fame change, and then once they hit rock bottom, they kind of revert back to the like kind of look into the past and be like, oh, I kind of wish that I kind of wish that I had like that old inspiration back again. I wish I had that old feeling of wanting to make videos and like being happy about it and like kind of realizing like the mistakes they made, sort of, kind of, but also starting anew with where basically they get like a second chance, right? Like that's a way more interesting premise than just girl gets kicked out of group and like, you know, it's trying to make a new one. Which they could have had that same premise too, but like what they had, they did not. That was not latchable, man. I looked at that and like, if you go back on my anime watch list for summer 2024, I was like, bro, I'm only here because some of the girls have like really cute designs and they're really colorful. And like it turns out like, oh, if this goes in the right direction, and I'm not going to lie, my interest is there. And I see the foundation. It's one of those things. It's not like, what's a show on this list I can use? Like, it's not like My Friend No, which to be fair is already established, so it's pretty good. But it's not like some of these shows I watch where like they got a pretty good grasp and like they don't need much legwork to get there. They just kind of need to follow their path. It's one of those things where it's just like, oh, we're gonna need to make like so much work. Like, it's like these next 2 episodes, you're going to need to establish like what we are as a show, cause like. They did that and they gave us the premise, but it's one of those things where it's like, oh no, you're going to need to give us, I think, like, I don't know if I asked for, like, heavy character development, but it's like, you're going to definitely need to give us that, like, character play. You're going to need to give us that, like, character explanation. Like, we're going to need to dive deep into this bitch to actually explain shit. So, like, man, that's going to be very interesting. That's going to be very interesting to explore. It's going to be really interesting to explore. But overall, that episode was good. Like, it did, like, I will give the episode this, it is not great. But what I was, and maybe this is also my low expectations, but I was genuinely expecting, like, a 5, maybe a 4. Especially for how low it is on Mount 2. I was expecting something on that run. I would genuinely, at least for as a starting point for this episode, I would give it, like, a 7. Just for how impressive it, like, turned me around. My give it 6.5 because it interested me, but not to the point where like I'm committed to watch it and I'm committed to good. Well, that's the problem. So that's the thing I'm struggling with, where it's like, so I think the 6.5 is like what I think the show actually is, but I think I want to bump it up to a 7 for just how much it changed. You don't know. You know, I'll be generous for this one. I'll put it at a 7. I think. It genuinely interested me. I think the animation is actually really good for. Okay, not really good, but I think it's like, you know, it's better than I would have expected it to be. A lot of Mayonaka Punch is definitely this is better than I expected. So, for me, I look at that and I'm just like, ooh, okay, I see you, I see you there, Mayonaka Punch with your shit. So that's why I'm sitting there. I'm just like, oh yeah, cool, yeah, like okay. John, is there anything else for that? Oh. I guess the only thing to add on to that to the episode is like, yeah, they're vampires, but they also need to work on the development of vampires, because as far as we know, Live is just a character that wants Masaki or Masakaki or what Masakagi or whatever the fuck her name is, and there's the character who is helping out not Liv, that's helping out Live. Well, I think Ichiko, who apparently just looked at a bunch of investing stuff on YouTube, and now she's just in, like, immense crippling debt, which is just like, oh, okay. It's like, I mean, I guess so, investing... Oh my god, wait, could I say that? Because she's been dead. No, because Live before this was asleep for, like, 25 years? Oh my god, I could say that. It would have been in the very beginning, but there's enough time. Oh my god. She basically... oh my god, okay. This is such a small thing, but basically the character Ichiko. First of all, this just makes me feel old. But the character Ichiko, basically, like looks on YouTube for investing advice, and now she's in crippling debt. And I don't know how long she's done this, but if it's 20 years, she would have been around. She would have been around for the birth of YouTube, by herself with no real advice. So she's just been watching this shit for 20 years, potentially, and just sinking more and more money into a whole... Oh, that's actually terrible. That's actually, like, god-awful. Holy shit. That is ass. That is complete ass. But yeah, I think a proper, yeah, I think 7 out of 10 is a pretty good ranking for this.